Welcome to another edition of Team Hotel TV. I'm your host today, Buddy Martinez. And with us this week breaking down the games, we have June, coach of the Colts, Leo from the Jaguars, and we have Dom, one of the franchise players coming up the championship season from the Colts. So this week, guys, we had some interesting games last week. We had a couple games. We had a game that went into overtime. I think we're still trying to figure out where everyone kind of fits in, but it was definitely an exciting week going in. So this week's first matchup, we have the Eagles and the Lions. I can see there's a little trash talking going on already between the teams. Hey, guys, keep it clean. But it should be an interesting matchup. Hey, June, tell me a little bit of what you think about this game right here.
Well, a lot of people underestimate the Eagles.
Yeah, you gotta look over there.
My bad.
Okay, go ahead.
A lot of people underestimate the Eagles. I think they've done well.
So both of these teams are 0-1.
Yeah.
So going in, yeah.
But Lions are always in contending.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Eagles were coming in. They was hyped up through preseason. Sending messages online to everybody that they was gonna whoop them and everything.
So you think they do more talking than playing? Is that what you're saying?
Sometimes, yeah. But I was real impressed with the way things ended up. First quarterback didn't
Jihad?
Jihad didn't really pan out so good, but they made a smart decision and brought in Ike.
Yeah.
And he kind of threw those 3 touchdowns, I believe. Right?
Yeah, he threw 3 touchdowns, kind of brought him back into the game. I guess you have to say a great kind of coaching move from Ant there, kind of making that adjustment.
How do you know all this? You weren't even there.
I wasn't there, but I do film.
Oh, okay. I was like, you talking like you was there.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So kind of
homework.
So what do you think about the Lions?
Lions, they played us. The coach, I think my nephew done a little good job on offense, defense. We could have used
Oompa Loompa kid.
Yeah, the little Oompa Loompa. Stop messing with my nephew, man.
I didn't know who was the coach.
Who's his
I was
nephew?
like, I seen
Joel,
the game start,
Joel.
and I ran over to Buddy, and I was like, Buddy, the rules is that there's not a coach present. You got to forfeit. And they was like, the coach is over there. And I couldn't find him.
Couldn't find him.
But the Lions, what do we think about the Lions coming in? How do we think they match up?
I think the Lions are a really good team. I just think that they had to knock off the Russ week 1. In week 1, they were going against arguably the number 1 team in the league in the Colts.
I mean, the Colts haven't lost a game.
Colts haven't lost a game
2016.
Since 2016. So coming in, they had a new quarterback. The quarterback needs to understand the system. Quarterback also needs to trust his weapons. Ranil, you got a lot of weapons out there with Carlos. You got Justin. You got Gio. So you got to get those guys involved and put the balls in their hands because those guys will make plays. I just think that at the beginning, the Lions had a very slow start because it looked like Ranil didn't want to throw the ball. Every time you look, he was going to the ground and to the running back. But I think this week, they watch film. He understands that he does have playmakers, and going up against the Eagles, I think the Lions are going to come out and actually win this game. I'm hearing a lot of talk that if they was at the game would have been different with the Chargers, and they would have put up more points. But I just still think that on defense they struggle. There's a lack of communication going on over there. So I think that having experience, and having more talent on the Lions, that gives them the upper edge. And I think the Lions are going to win this game 31-20.
You think the Lions are going to win 31-20?
Yeah.
Real quick, hey, Dom, what do you think about the Lions? You just coming off playing them. Seemed like you guys had the upper hand early, and they kind of made it a game later on.
Well, their coach, Kev, he switched the defense up in the second half to that 3 safety look. But Ranil has to, like Leo said, scan the field more. He goes too short.
Yeah,
he's going to dump it off or he's going to give it to Justin.
It's kind of like his first year starting. I think he might have had a little work last year, but
even though he played in summer camp, I don't
summer
think
camp, he kind of developed, yeah.
But
this the big boys league.
Yeah, true. So with the Eagles, Dave's coming back. I don't think Dave's going to do too well. Not against this defense. So I got the Lions winning 34-14.
And you?
And what score you got here?
I go 20-14. Lion. I think Justin is probably a new Justin. I think he's the.
Oh, he's definitely balling out there. You're talking about the center there.
Yeah, I was really, really impressed with him. He looks really good. So I think 20-14.
20. Yeah, I think some other guys to kind of watch out for. I think Ish kind of played really well. I think Gio's also going to be a factor. And you got Carlos. I feel like was Carlos present in your game? Did he?
Yeah, he had 2 picks.
He had 2
and
picks.
he had a good catch.
Touchdown.
A deep ball that was not caught on camera over Namdi.
I'm sorry, Namdi.
Right.
Yeah, he huffed on you. I'm sorry.
He definitely mossed Namdi there.
Yes,
so I think this is going to be an interesting game too, guys. I'm going with the Eagles in this one in the upset. I think they're a little hungry. We'll see if they can back up their mouth.
Because you used to coach that team.
Maybe I used to coach them, yeah. So I got them winning a close one, 20-19. Let's get into our second matchup here. We got the 0-1 Seahawks losing on a very controversial play to end the game. 50% of the league thinks he scored a touchdown. The other 50% are saying he didn't score. But that ended up causing, I think it was Elijah that caught the pass. I'm not sure. Yeah. With Mike grabbing it at the end. Referee signaled touchdown, and then they took it back. Heartbreaking loss. And then you got the Colts. We got the guys who haven't lost since 2016. Kind of looked like they played a tough first half against the Lions. It looked like they got bored, and then kind of toned it down a little bit. But Leo, let's break down the game a little bit here. I think. Do you think the Seahawks can end this streak of the Colts?
I mean, I wish they can. I mean, it really comes down if the coach is going to prepare their kids. But all I've been hearing all week is that he can't get over last week's play. Instead of him watching film and moving on and focusing on the coach, I keep getting these calls like, "Did you see this? What the ref did? Did you see this last week?" And it's like he's already behind. I mean, right here, June and Dime, before we started the show, they was watching film in the back, and this is like the third time they watched the Seahawks game. While Jesse is still watching the game from last week. Wow. So, I think the Colts have the upper advantage. I mean, until Ruben decides to really watch tape and move on to the next week, I don't think it will probably even be a close game. I think that
What do you think, Dom, real quick, as far as the matchup, what are some players that you think you have to kind of plan for against the Seahawks?
Especially their quarterback. I really don't know his name. Tracy and Rodney. Rodney's a really good player.
The running back, too. What's it, Shamar? It sounds like Lamar.
Tracy?
Tracy.
They haven't no Lamar yet. They haven't. Lamar, he's good, too.
I think Rodney's their playmaker.
Rodney, too, another good player.
I don't think they have the upper hand to beat us. We're too mentally prepared for them. We're the best team in the league, so we're going to win 30-0.
Gotcha. Wow. Who were you impressed with, real quick, Dom, with your players from your team? Who stepped up the most, you felt like, in week one?
Well, Esky not being here no more, especially it's going to be Namdi, B-Hop, and Keese, our quarterback. They're really good.
How about Quadir?
Quadir, that one-hand catch, you saw that, right?
Yeah, I think he made top 10 for sure.
Yep, absolutely.
So, June, so it seemed like you had two different teams here from the Seahawks. It seemed like the Seahawks, the first half team, were horrible, getting blown out by the Texans. And then Shaheed and these guys actually started making plays to kind of come back in the second half. Do they have anything to be worried about? Are you worried about anything on their team, or do you think you'll crush them?
No, I mean, definitely, you can't sleep on nobody. The Seahawks.
Interesting that you say that, because earlier we was talking and you said that they have nothing for you, that they're definitely not going to be the team to end your streak.
Oh, I might have said that, but still don't change the fact that I think that they're a pretty good team. Well,
you also talked about you having superior coaching as well. Do you want to kind of elaborate on that, your matchup with Ruben?
Very arrogant over there.
Yeah.
He's laughing. It's that funny. It's kind of that comical, the matchup, him against Ortiz.
That's how you looking at the game, huh? It's a joke?
Well, anyway.
Is this easy to you? You kind of just looking at this like, man, this is a cakewalk here.
I'm hearing you're not even going to show up again. It's that easy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you going to come this week?
Yeah, I think I can make it.
You think you can make it? Wow.
I think I can make it.
I think June considers this as a bye week. I think
is that what June told you?
Yeah, he did tell me that.
Wow.
Jesse, I'm sorry. He said it's a bye week this week.
Wow. Shaheed, Tracy, Elijah, guys, you guys hearing it here from the Colts.
You better come to
don't have
man.
much respect kind of going in. I guess they think you're talented, but I guess.
He was just bragging.
What would you say? They're here, and where would you put the Colts? Damn. On the pair? Higher.
Yeah, like Jesse.
Your hands are not high enough.
My hands are not high enough. You heard it here. Wow.
If you had longer arms, you'll be touching the roof.
Gotcha. That's kind of where. So it seems like the Colts, a team that kind of always struggled, he finally figured it out last year, and I think he's got the secret to it where he's not kind of worried about it. Let's go through some scores real quick, guys. What do you think the score is going to be?
30-0.
There's
30
no way
to
the game's going to be 30-0. They have like 1-2. So if it's 30-0, all they got to do is throw the ball and they will score. But I think the game will be a little bit closer. It'll be like maybe 30-14.
30-14?
Yeah. I think Justin is just going to sack that quarterback too much. The quarterback's not really
Shahid's not really mobile.
And Justin is probably arguably the best rusher in
the
the league.
He does a little bit too much thinking, Shaheed, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, June, what is your score? What do you got?
Say what you said. Don't
32,
yeah.
32-20 probably.
Wow, 32-20 is not what you said earlier.
I got my team 32-20.
What was the score that he said earlier,
He
guys?
definitely said 48 to 6, and my son will have 10 sacks in the first half.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we'll have,
Amazing. He talked about having CJ at quarterback. Well, you guys heard it there. I think it's going to be a little bit.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of a closer game. I think Devon and Jesse have to kind of figure it out. You don't want to start the season 0-2. But I got the Colts winning. I don't think the streak ends. I got them winning 30-20. So let's go into the next game here. We got the Cardinals and the Jaguars. Cardinals losing a heartbreaking loss to the Falcons in overtime. They came to play. And then you had the Jags winning, having a great game against the Pac-9, kind of really bullying them early, getting a little bit closer later on, but pretty much had the game at hand. Real quick, hey, Don, why don't you kind of break down this matchup a little bit?
easy win for the Jags. Easy win. I think the Cardinals are not going to be prepared this week. You know, with Eric, he's looking like a different Eric from last year.
He's definitely improved, you think?
I think he should be a 1. Mike really improved. Jumping, huffing on everybody.
Mike has definitely got to be a nominee for Player of the Week. He definitely performed well in, I guess, one of the biggest games of the year. He's definitely a 1, yeah.
What else? Then you got, who else? You got Barack. He's all right. Then you still got his son, Carlos. But on the Cardinals side, you got Eric Dickerson and their quarterback.
So tell me a little bit about Eric. I mean, he came the ball this week. He had 5 catches, 2 touchdowns. I mean, do you know him personally?
I know him personally. Yeah, he goes to my school. We play on the same team.
Yeah.
He's fast.
Right.
Really, really fast.
Gotcha. So you think that might be a matchup that the Jags have to look out for?
Yeah, they're going to have to put at least like double coverage on him. If not, it's going to get bad for their secondary.
Gotcha.
But I got the Jags winning this 36-14.
36-14. All right, Leo. You know, I know you don't ever underestimate an opponent going into the game, unlike the Colts here.
No.
So what do you think about this matchup for you guys? What do you think is going to present a problem for you guys? You had I believe Sharif coming in and throwing 4 touchdowns as the quarterback for the Cardinals, and then you got Cornell, a veteran in the game. You know, how do you think
it's going to come down to which team is going to play the entire game. I mean, if you look at last week, we started off 24-6, and we kind of like disappeared in the second half. Where I see now, I mean, the Cardinals game, they look hungry. They was playing all the way. You see it went into overtime. And the quarterback, I mean, he's not afraid to throw it deep.
Right.
You know, and I mean, last year when we lost in Urban Bowl, we gave up 3 deep balls. So hopefully that doesn't happen this week against the Cardinals there.
Well, do you think your safeties have improved from last year?
Oh, yeah, they definitely have improved. They have to improve. Otherwise, we would not stand a chance this week against the Cardinals. But I think it's going to be a closer game than Dom is predicting. I think we're going to come out there and compete. For some reason, we just can't seem to play 2 full halves of football. And I think we have a couple weeks to get it right. You know, we're taking it 1 week at a time, and hopefully we'll be prepared for the playoffs to be a full team. So I think, you know, we'll come out and struggle a little bit and then turn the heat on in the second half. And I think we're going to win this game 25-18.
25-18. What do you got here, undefeated June here? I haven't lost against the 2016. What do you got in this game coming up?
Well, if we're going to speak the truth, why don't you tell them what you told me about that you're not even preparing for this game, Mr. Leo?
He did say that.
Yeah, never. He did say. Tom, did he say that?
Yeah, he did say
Yeah,
that.
he said he was looking
He said
past
this is a
this
cakewalk.
week. But
So look, some cockiness
yeah,
here from the coaches.
I mean, I don't know. I say it's going to be a close one. I mean, Eric, 4 touchdowns this week, right?
Eric, oh no, he had 5 catches, 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry,
Sharif, yeah.
Sharif threw 4 touchdowns. I said it's going to be a lot closer than what Mr. Leo.
Don't forget about the kid, Will,
Leopold.
too, I think it is.
Oh, Will, yeah, he's also a factor that you're going to
He's
have to.
tall, you know, he's out there. Moss and people, got to watch it for him, too.
Yeah.
He's another asset they have.
So as long as the defense holds up for the Cards, I think his protege will throw a couple more picks this week, and they can come out with the win. Yeah, I'm going Cards for the upset this week.
Ooh.
Gotcha. Here, I mean, I think the Cardinals have improved from last year. What you have score?
I would say 14-20.
14-20. I think the Cardinals are going to make this a game. I think the Jaguars just might have a little bit too experienced, but I think if the Jaguars don't come to play, this could be a closer game than expected. But yeah, so I guess I got the Jaguars winning this one, 30-24 here in a close game. But I'm hoping the Cardinals can go off their momentum. They kind of started off cold, came back against the Falcons, and we'll see. They weren't able to finish it in overtime, but we'll see if they're able to translate that into competing with the Jaguars. Well, that will do it, guys, for our
First half.
for our first half of games. Come back for our second half. We have 2 more games to go.